From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
All right, it's currently 11 o'clock in the evening. I'm Fred Gossage along with Kelly Rosson in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center doing our hourly status update on the severe weather situation for the overnight. Still no warnings across the area, but you can see a line of severe thunderstorm warnings behind the banner for a large part of northern Tennessee with the line of thunderstorms just off to the north. There's still a tornado watch until 3 a.m. for southern middle Tennessee and then until 2 a.m. for western Tennessee and north Mississippi. North Alabama, not yet in a watch. There's a decent chance there will be a watch later into the overnight in the early morning hours as the storms get a bit closer, but there's a reasonable chance that instead of a tornado watch, it might be a severe thunderstorm watch because the tornado threat, even with the storms to the north, as we expected all along, already lowering, and it will be even lower once it gets into North Alabama. So we'll be watching things carefully during the overnight. Here's Viper Live Doppler radar. You can see the line of thunderstorms starting to finally approach I-40 just to the north of our viewing area here. So I do think there may be storms knocking on the door of Murray County, Tennessee and Lewis County, Tennessee, possibly warnings by midnight, lining up with the start of our updated timeline here. What may happen, and we're starting to see signs of that, new storms forming just out ahead of the line and then merging into it that may help it propagate southward a little bit. One other thing it may help do is lower the damaging wind potential just a little bit. Overall, storms not as impressive as what they were a little bit ago, and it looks like outflow air gusting out ahead of the storms a little bit. So it's not a high damaging wind threat, but there still could be a few pockets of damaging straight line winds as the storms move in. Storms back into western Tennessee still ongoing, and they're starting to fill in back to the west. This is the remainder of the line that will push southward across southern middle Tennessee into North Alabama. It's starting to redevelop all the way back into Arkansas. So overall, looks like our timeline we adjusted about an hour ago may end up okay after all. The storms are starting to sink a little southward now, and we're starting to see the line fill in off to the northwest. But storms, while they do have severe thunderstorm warnings, they don't look overly high-end intense. So this does not look like a higher-end type severe weather threat for our local area in southern middle Tennessee, northwest Alabama. You see other severe thunderstorms developing back southeast of Little Rock. Those look like they will be a problem for North Mississippi. Eventually, those will sink southeastward. Those will likely stay mainly to the south of our viewing area. It's mainly this line that's starting to fill in that we will deal with during the early morning hours. There's still level 3 out of 5 risk of severe weather across southern middle Tennessee. Lowers a little bit to the standard level 2 out of 5 risk of severe weather over North Alabama here. Again, tornado threat is very low for the rest of the night. It's not completely zero, and I need you to understand that and not be confused by that. There may be a spin-up tornado in the line, so you need to be aware, but the risk of that is very low. Main threat, damaging straight line winds in pockets along the line of 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. Not everybody gets that type of wind, but there has been that type of wind already with the line to the north, with trees and power lines down, and in pockets across southern middle Tennessee and North Alabama that very well could happen here with severe thunderstorm warnings. Hail is a low threat, but there could be some isolated pockets of hail up to $50 size. We just haven't seen a lot of that, and we're not expecting a lot of that. Localized street flooding possible as the line moves through here with heavy rain during the early morning hours. Here's the timeline. We adjusted this about an hour ago, and it looks pretty decent here based on the latest radar trends since then. Midnight to 3 a.m. is a rough timeline here for places like Savannah, Waynesboro, Lawrenceburg, north of Pulaski, Lewisburg, over to Hohenwald, Columbia, Spring Hill, Collinwood, surrounding places like that. 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. from Iuka to Red Bay to Russellville to the Shoals Metro to Moulton and Decatur to Athens to Loretto to Pulaski to Minor Hill to Ardmore over to Fayetteville and to downtown Huntsville. South of downtown Huntsville through the rest of southern Madison County, south of Decatur through Hartselle and Falkville, south of Moulton into southern Lawrence County, Alabama, and back toward Phil Campbell in the cyan color, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. That's the current timeline, which looks pretty decent based on radar trends for the line of thunderstorms to gradually sink into the area and gradually but steadily weaken as it does. But even as it's weakening, there could be a few pockets of damaging straight line winds and maybe a spin up tornado. That's why we have the tornado watch until 3 a.m. across southern middle Tennessee, until 2 a.m. across western Tennessee and north Mississippi. And again, decent chance there's going to be a watch over North Alabama in a couple hours as the storms get closer. However, there's also a reasonable chance that instead of a tornado watch, it may be a severe thunderstorm watch with what's already a low tornado threat over southern middle Tennessee. It's even lower over North Alabama, but it's not completely zero, so can't say for sure what type of watch they will decide for North Alabama. We'll continue to watch things very carefully. Next scheduled update is at midnight, and again, once we start getting severe thunderstorm warnings, we'll have frequent live updates as those warnings are in effect. And should we get a tornado warning overnight, we'll be live nonstop until the danger is over. For Kelly Rosson, I'm Fred Gossage, live from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather.